everybody.
Hi,
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Frankie Valentine,
I am Sarah Billiot.
And I'm Patrick Caleri.
and this is the workshop. Welcome, everybody. This week, I just wanted to put out there that we are now officially on Discord, and we have a Facebook page, which I will be putting in the description under the video. Not the doobly doo, not the skidamarinky dinky dink or whatever I call it. Skippity. Yeah, no. I
And
promise
we
you
have a
guys.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's gonna be the description under the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell. Okay, no, I'm
We're not
stop
going
now.
that far. We're not YouTubers. Well, I
No,
mean, sort of, but you know what I mean.
technically, yeah. Eventually, when I figure out how to do it, I will put this podcast on Spotify. One day, I don't know,
Once
but
my
for now,
own limited understanding of the technology is no longer an issue.
yeah. Once the PEBKEK error has officially been resolved, oh yeah, that's right. I, I got a sound effect this week, baby.
That's too
All
much.
right, too much power. I am a shiny golden god. Okay. All right. So last week we had a writing prompt which was put into the Discord, and our prompt was: while at the beach, you decide to write a message in a bottle. What do you write? Who do you want to find it? Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I'm gonna need to put mine in the Discord as well.
That's
But
cool.
I'll do that later.
Alrighty.
Okay. So I have a about 16-month old son, and I would write the message in the bottle to him. Um, I would not want him to find it at any specific point in time. Um, More so of when the universe tells him that he needs it. I want the words in that letter to meet him exactly where he is at that moment. And the message would say, this moment, no matter how heavy or confusing it is not your whole story. Where you are at this very moment is only a sliver of what's to come and what has been. If I could have chosen another lifetime for you to be born into, I would have done so in a heartbeat. I would have given anything to introduce you to softer time, to a time with little noise and no division. You deserved a gentler world. But even in the present, despite the political chaos and the societal turmoil, I want you to always stand for what you believe in, no matter what. Fight for what's right. Be brave and kind, and don't let anyone convince you that you don't deserve to shine. I may not be there when you find this, and that's okay. My love will always be with you, around you, and holding you, always and forever. From Mom.
Aww, I love that. I want to give you a sound effect, but the only one I have is. But it doesn't need that.
Wait, that's the only one that you have?
Being a mom's made me soft.
I had others, but I accidentally X'd out of them, and if I hit the plus, it wants me to upload my own. I'm like, I'm not that creative yet. All right, Patrick, did you complete your homework?
I did. The It's not much. I literally wrote like 2 lines.
That's
That's fine.
that's perfectly fine. No word count on this project.
All right. So the prompt I wrote a message in a bottle. I kind of wrote it. I wrote it as a self-expression sort of thing, where I wouldn't really care who ever read the message. More in a kind of sense that just sort of trying to write about honest emotion, how I would be feeling alone on an island, I suppose.
All right.
Okay.
So I wrote, it's called Wretch Morpheus. And I wrote, Wrench your way out of me, unfinished beast, son of sleep, god of lies, totality of rage, of sin, of dizzying pride. Leave behind a portrait of sores and gashed innards, but then you are gone at last. Better not to dream.
What
Hey,
do you mean that wasn't much?
that
It's
was great.
only in the sense that I realized after writing it that I didn't really do much with the prompt of writing to someone or about anything in particular. It was just I don't know. I haven't written very um, atmospherically or less more abstractly, I guess, in a long time. So that was just sort of I wanted to have fun with that.
Yeah, but someone can be anyone, like
Yeah,
someone doesn't have to be a specific person. So I
True.
think you did the prompt, and it was
yeah,
good.
I like that. That was really good. Um, I wrote mine after the other one that's in there in the Discord. Mine is in the Discord. Um, they kind of mirror each other because his kind of inspired mine,
Hmm.
and you'll see what I mean after I read them. So mine was sitting with my back to the tree. I fold the paper slowly, methodically, and slip it into the bottle. I fold my hands around the neck and say a quick prayer. Saint Christopher, guide my bottle to the correct hands. I'm not asking for much, just some guidance. And with that, I drop the bottle into the water and watch it float away. The tide rolls out, taking my prayer with it. The message is in Chris's hands now. I lean my head back on the tree and watch as the little birds build the nest where they will lay their eggs, raise their chicks, and eventually watch their hard work pay off. Freedom awaits those babies, as I hope it awaits me. For 7 days and 7 nights, dehydrated, unable to move, too weak to call out for help, I sat there, watching, waiting, when I saw it, shimmering on the water, a large ship approaching. Its horn blasts cut through the air. I muster just enough strength to wave my arms in the air, hoping against hope they see me there, under the shady palm. The little birds above me chirped in anticipation for their next meal. As the ship got bigger, it stopped, and a small rowboat was lowered onto the water. It seemed to take forever and a day, but eventually a man was walking up the beach in my direction. He was tall, handsome, and the best thing I had seen in 6 long months. He stopped just shy of the shade and held out the bag. I got Taco Bell for Frankie. I, I smiled, held out my hand, and whispered, 5 stars. Hey!
Is that why you got the sound effect?
No, no, it was that one. There was one that was like an intro. It was like burp, 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 burp. It's all like not duty free. What is it? Royalty free.
Duty free, essentially duty free.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, those poor birds. They didn't know they were in a Taco Bell pun.
Hey, you know what? They got a taco out of it. It's fine.
They got a taco out of it. That's
Yeah.
true.
Soft shell because they're baby birds. But
Ah,
Yeah.
and
I like,
huh?
I like how you teed it up with their excitement for their next meal. I didn't know where that one was going.
Just chunking those delicious French fries up in the air, hoping a bird catches it. All right. And the other one that was from one of our members, it's from a guy named Frank. He says, I stroked the glossy surface of the cylindrical bottle with my fingertips, imagining a middle aged man finding it on some windy day. He's all alone, took a breather, a hike away from the old ball and chain and 2 blissful kids. He loves them all, but he needs the space. He sees a flash in the waves, raises his black sports shades and starts to track it. Down he goes, past glistening sun-tanned skin and skittering critters. He almost misses it as a wave crashes in and forms a jet stream, but he dives in and gets his hand around it. He has to admit, even though he would trade his life for nothing, that the possibility of an adventure or a long lost love letter had his interest piqued. He uncorked the lid, pulls out the humidity stained parchment, and reads: Dear Sir or Madam, we are trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Please fill out the form attached and send it back out to sea. We will return your message in 3 to 5 business weeks as tide permits. He puts the cork back on and chucks it on down the beach, then scans behind him and starts his walk back to his beautiful family. I grin and place the cork, then slide the bottle into the bobbing ocean tide below me. Hey!
That was good.
Thanks, Frank.
Right? Mm. And if you would like to share your writing next week, we'll have a brand new writing prompt in the Discord, in this video, and in the Facebook. So wherever you want to leave your things, please do. Huzzah! Huzzah!
We'll get a soundbite for that too.
Yeah. Quick add, huzzah! You gotta start it with the horns. Huzzah! That's I gotta get rid of that one, man.
You're gonna be
No,
sitting
don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of it.
If I hit the X, it goes away forever. There was like 4 of them, and like it will not bring them back. I don't know what I've done wrong.
Gone forever.
It was a PEBKEK error. Problem exists between chair and keyboard. No, keyboard and chair, because magic E. Hey, and that's an English lesson for you guys. E before E after C, it goes. And that's your English lesson for the day. All right, time to wrap up. No. All right, so we are writers. We've written, we've done the thing, and we all have a process. And I know for me, sometimes the process, which is a process I found out I share with, I cannot say his name, but he was in Our Flag Means Death. He's
I never actually saw that one. I've heard it's good though.
I'm not sure if he's Australian or a New Zealander. I don't want to be that person, so let me see. To the IMDb. What's his name? Not Reese Darby. No, that's not the Reese Darby one. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Taika Waititi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's New Zealander.
Okay, all right. He said that sometimes the writing process is opening your computer, staring at the blank page for about 8 hours, and then just closing your computer. And when I tell you, that has been the process many a days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All the little voices in there screaming, saying things. We want to do the things, and then you put it on paper or on screen. And it's like delete. This isn't this isn't from my head. This is from something else. And then you just
or it is from my head, and I want no one to ever see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's from my head.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Sarah.
I was going to say that process, I mean, I think all writers have that moment where they're just staring at a screen for however many hours, and then they're like, this is it. Nope, this is it for the day. And it can just be so frustrating because you feel like you've gotten nothing done. But I also feel like those days are needed because it makes you think about everything that you don't want. Like, no, it's not going to go in this direction. It's not going to go in that direction. This character would not do that. Mm-hmm. And so whenever the writer's block is over, then you can, open up the computer, pick up your pen and paper, typewriter, if that's what you do. And then you kind of, what not to do. So you can kind of, pave your little path that way.
Yeah. Sidebar. only because the typewriter comment got me thinking of it. And this is no shade, this is no hate, but so my wife was listening to a Taylor Swift song that references the line is somebody left their typewriter at her apartment, and my only reaction to that is, who brings a full ass typewriter? Like, that thing is not convenient. It's not like you're bringing your laptop. You have to lug that shit. That's 50 pounds. Oh my god.
Imagine taking that person to meet her parents, be like, Mom, Dad, this is my boyfriend, Charles Dickens.
Like, I mean, that's commitment, but I also think that he just moved his typewriter to your place and left it with you. I don't think he was planning to get it back.
Right.
I wish I could be like a purist with like a typewriter or even handwritten, but I've always found that a laptop is best for me. But I've got the opposite problem. Well, not the opposite problem. I've stared at a blank page for a long time, but for me, it's almost like if I can't get the words out, I can't sit still. Like, I gotta be up. I gotta be moving. And so part of me, I'll move away from my laptop to do something else to try to jog my memory or get my creative juices going. And then, I'll just spend the day pacing. I won't actually sit down and actually write anything. So that's my big issue is, if I don't feel the juices flowing, I sometimes feel I'm too ready to give up, to do something else, to just get my mind off it, rather than sit and kind of grit through the process. So, yeah, that's not fun, but I've found too that powering through it, even if you know what you're writing is crap, sometimes there is catharsis in just starting, even if it is crap, because you will go back. You'll finish the 200,000 page manuscript or word manuscript and then change everything about it, and it's gonna suck, but it's necessary. I mean,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there is an, I don't think it was an article. Yeah, it was. What? Why? Okay. Well, you can actually listen to it on YouTube, but there was an article I had to read actually for a Nick Maneri class called "Shitty First Drafts," and so it's
Yeah.
called Bird by Bird, and pretty much what she's saying is a lot of the things that a lot of times the things that come out are gonna suck, but that's okay because it is the first draft. And I was talking about last week's podcast to another professor, Anna Broussard, uh, and I was like, I sound like I'm in a trash can and I'm 6 houses down screaming into the mic. And she's like, that's okay. It was the first one. There's a lot to learn. I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
for starters, don't sit in a trash can and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Also, before we started, we did have technical difficulties. Sarah, I figured out why you sounded so low. There's a volume on here as well as on my computer, and it was pretty much almost off.
Wait, Patrick, could you hear me?
No. Well, I mean, it depends. I could hear you intermittently. I could never tell. Like, I didn't know where it was coming from, but
Oh,
And I don't know what kind of microphone Patrick is using, but good God.
I know.
well, I was telling Frankie that it's my secret, not even my secret shame. I bought with the adult money that I finally had. I bought myself like a refurbished gaming laptop, and that's definitely why it's got a good mic. It's yeah.
You got to be able to let the noobs hear you pwn them, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's funny because I go ahead and buy this gaming laptop just to play like 15-year-old games that I played when I was 12 years old, but it's still worth it.
Hey, Minecraft is timeless, man. I get it.
Man, Minecraft really is old, isn't it?
It is, but they keep updating it, and it's free, which really
And they
just
made a
makes me
movie.
so happy.
I would not have guessed Minecraft movie.
No, I wouldn't have made it like that. But it wasn't bad for what it was. I enjoyed it. And I really
Fair.
liked the Technoblade nod. That was kind of nice. He was a YouTuber who played Minecraft who passed away a few years ago,
Oh.
and his skin was a pig dressed as a king. And I'm not sure exactly where in the film, but a pig wearing a crown walks by, and they ask,
Oh.
Who is that guy? Is he a king?" And Jack Black goes, "No, he's a legend." And I was like, "Yeah,
Aw,
that's
did
that's
my boy
that's
right."
that's sweet.
it's so interesting how some really wholesome communities can spring up around, not even that Minecraft is inherently, there's nothing inherently violent about it, but like you would not expect the same community that fosters, you know, Chicken Jockey to also be a community that, celebrates a creator after they passed.
Yeah, yeah. Like, well, it's like there in every community there is a high point and a low point. And
Yeah.
the chicken jockey somewhere in the middle, but like chaos around chicken jockey. Now that's the fun part, but no, yeah, the community that honors Technoblade is the portion of the community that honors Technoblade is really kick ass. I really like them.
Nice. Oh, that's
And
good.
I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm not swearing as much this week. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say I forgot that YouTube doesn't like it when you swear. So,
Wait, did we get like flagged or something?
oh no, hardly anyone's watched it, but
They don't care yet. They
just
don't
in
care yet.
case. Yeah, they don't care yet. But when they do care, and we get like sponsorships from like Barnes and Noble and whatnot, no, no. I wanted to let you know I'm telling because you guys I listened to it today and like you guys didn't even say so much as damn, and I'm over here screw this and f that and damn and hell
Oh
and
no,
shit.
no, no, no. I definitely threatened Colleen Hoover.
Yeah, but in a nice way. It's
Wait,
okay.
yeah. Hang on.
Other
You
people
threatened Colleen Hoover. I vaguely alluded to kidnapping James Patterson. We might want to stop while we're ahead. Like,
I accused Amanda Palmer of grooming. It's fine. Fine.
we're definitely gonna have to remove that like the first podcast if we ever make it big.
We'll put it as a tier 10 for our Patreons.
You have to spend enough money to cover our legal fees to
Right.
access this.
And for a mere $10,000, you too can hear our shitty first draft.
And also pay our legal fees to James Patterson.
Make all checks payable to Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Hey! I do it! Hey!
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know if. Huh?
I said maybe I'll make James Patterson my nemesis, and I'll just refer to him as Jimmy.
Hey, we might get
So,
views that way.
Honestly, though, like I'll ghostwrite for you, Jimmy, if you want me to.
then it might be good. You never know.
You never know. It is a slim chance.
Don't write something where a guy hugs a girl and then kisses the back of her head or whatever. No, which way they're facing.
Instant bestseller.
Right.
Speaking
The
of that,
girl.
though, I sent something that I wrote to one of my cousins who she's not a writer, but she's an avid reader.
Nice.
And so I sent it to her and I was like, can you just read this? I've been looking at it for so long. I was rereading it all day and it just started to seem like a jumbled jungle of words. Um, and so she read it and she was like, this is amazing. Like, I kept trying to scroll to read more and I realized it was the end. But then she highlighted a paragraph and she's like, the way you worded this is literally not possible with the way they're standing. So
It happens.
she's like, that's my only comment. It makes no sense.
That's hilarious because that's something that I would completely do. I have to reread, like, if I do anything that even resembles an action sequence, I gotta be like, wait, hang on. Is
You have to
that
like stand up and do it. Like that's
yeah, I'm like, is that physically
right.
possible?
Have you
Because I
ever
know
been so
I wasn't really paying too much attention to that when I read as a kid, but there are people who do. So
Yeah,
yeah, wait, am I?
we hear you.
Okay, I didn't see the thing. No, when you read something, whether you wrote it or someone else writes it, and like they say, like the character bared their teeth. You ever just find yourself sitting there with the book, like,
it's like
that's I can't read in public because I'll be sitting there looking at the book like, I'm like, go down, honey. But I don't
Yeah.
even
yeah,
want to be on this bus.
yeah. Well, it's like the there's the old joke about any time if you pay attention to how often Stephanie Meyer uses muttering or murmuring, you will never be able to ignore it ever again. It's like, are her characters all just like whispering at each other constantly?
And Bella's just in the corner. Stupid vampire boyfriend. Vampire. Stupid werewolf love triangle.
So I guess with the whole personal writing process prompt, what do you guys? Where do you guys generate most of your ideas from, and or where do you get your best ideas from? I guess I don't know because I really only I don't know how to answer that because I don't really know sometimes where I get mine from.
I'm very much an out of thin air kind of person. I usually come up with a character first and then drop them somewhere.
Okay.
Like I have I had a character named Pip, and I just knew he like worked in a palace. He was in love with one of the princesses, blah blah blah, that kind of thing, and that's encompassing. Then I started building the world around Pip, and he's not even the main character anymore. He's a
Huh.
side character, but still, it started with Pip, and then I have like the first line of a short story I wrote called Charlie's Funeral. Charlie was the first of us to figure out how to spell boobs on the calculator. And that that was all I wanted to start with, and then it just came out from there. So I built it around Charlie, a dead character, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm more of a character first kind of person. Like if I do
Yeah.
Okay.
come up with a scenario first, I'll take an already established character and put them there.
See,
Character driven narrative.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm very like character first, but I've I've finally figured out like what I need to do to tone this back, but for the longest time, and I still sometimes struggle with it, I will like overwork my characters so that
Mhm.
way like they don't fit anywhere. Like they only fit in one specific setting that's just not working. And
Yeah.
so I find myself either having to like tone the character down and make it into someone completely new or just scrap the character altogether until I, you know, find something strong enough for them to fit in. But the story that I'm writing now, I'm on chapter 10, which the first time you and I talked, Frankie, I was on chapter 3. So within like a month
Nice.
and a half, I got to chapter 10.
Dang. That's
Fingers are
awesome.
flying, baby. I dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I had no idea where I wanted the story to go. I just knew that I liked this character Theo and I liked the relationship he had with his non-existent sister at the time. Um, and I've made 10 chapters out of it. So, yeah, I think it's all about the character.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I like that. I tend to do that with side characters. Like I have a pair of brothers, Charlie and Dell, which I changed Charlie's name to I don't remember what, but I have to go check it. But like Charlie was the main character from the jump. He was the only character you followed throughout. But then I was like, well, why is Dell the way Dell is? What happened to him after he ran away at 12 years old? So I started working on his backstory. I'm like, this is a good story all its own. I really like. Maybe I won't kill Dell at the end. Maybe I won't torture Dell in the middle. Maybe like,
But you have to because plot.
poor Dell. He already got the short end of the stick. Now I'm beating him with it. But no, like I'll get so bogged down in side characters, I'll forget the main plot. go back to the main plot. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why did I do this?
You get kind of you.
Where even was I going with this? Why?
Yeah, the danger is getting yeah. That's interesting. Getting kind of lost in your own characters to the point that you might even get. It's to make a comparison. It's the concept of getting bogged down in the world doing side quests for lack of the main story. It doesn't in the sense that you start getting more interested in all of these side characters. You want to explore as much of them as possible, but then you run the risk of getting too distracted, losing the thread. And it's a shame because you do want everyone to know as much about these characters as you do. But I think the cross you have to bear is that no one ever will. I mean, it just literally, there won't be enough room to fit in the story. This is this character's favorite color. This is their birthday. But
Yeah.
it's just, so you got to make peace with that.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that I have told myself, because I used to do that, like, this guy's favorite color is green, his birthday's May 17th, he was born in 1984, like, I would try to put all of that. That's a real character, by the way. I would try to put all of that.
I
That's
like
a
him.
character that I overdeveloped. But, like, your friends, you don't know everything about them. Like, I don't know one of my friends' favorite colors. Like, that's just not something that I've thought to ask them.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
or, like, I'll forget their birthdays and not remember until it pops up on Facebook. Like, that's just how life is. So that's how the characters or the readers should feel toward the characters as well, I think.
Okay.
That's also a really good time to delete people you don't remember. Like
Yes.
Mary Mae Mackison's birthday is today. She's 36. Who the hell is Mary Mae Mackison? Happy birthday! Block.
I know not having Facebook, I know my immediate family. I know my best man's only because his name is also Patrick, and he was born on St. Patrick's Day. Or not, no, yeah. So every time that comes up, I'm like, oh, I got to wish him a happy birthday. And I think, honestly, shit, that might be the only people that I know their like direct birthday for.
Yeah.
I'm not a date guy, I guess.
According to Facebook, I know my cousin Crystal's birthday. It's today. Happy birthday!
Oh,
There we
shout out on the podcast.
Woo-hoo! Listen too. What about listening? Like I've seen people sit and write in complete silence, and I've tried it, and it works, but it leaves my brain to go walkabout. So I have to have something to anchor me. And for a long time in college, it was the 1975's debut album, the 1975. I
Okay.
put that album on repeat. The song "Robbers" directly relates to a short story I wrote called "Where We Belong," which was stemmed from a poem I had written 2 years prior. There's that self plagiarism again.
It'll get you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I've recently been I reworked that one, changed a lot about it. I'm amazed at how often I use the F bomb in my early work and continue
Right?
to. Because, like, it's the first time you go to college the first time, and, like, all right, you can write whatever you want. Like, even the F
You're
word,
so edgy.
right? And, like, all the seniors are
Yeah.
sitting there reading your work going, aw, sweet summer child. Aw.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I feel like every writer goes through that stage. Did you go through that stage, Patrick, where you're just like, "Oh my God, I can write all the curse words and no one can tell me anything?"
I so I don't know. I don't think felt I use the curse words enough in my day to day. I think is that the people that I ran around with in high school and college, like it was, we did not lack for use of profanity in our day to day conversation. So I think I never felt scared to write it because, to be honest, nobody had ever really read my stuff. So I did go through a phase, instead of the profanity, I did go through a very Dickensian phase where I thought that I needed to use adjective and adverb in every, like I had to cram every sentence full of as much description and as many $5 words as possible. And oh my God, I thought it was so good. And when I went back to read anything I had written, I was just horrified because I was like, it sounds like I'm vomiting a thesaurus. It's just.
That's the best way to put it, honestly.
Oh my God. You get a sound effect for that one. Okay.
Yeah, I think I earned that one.
You did. You really did. I like that. I like that. Like that was another instance though of having to separate the art from the artist because Matt Healy, who was the lead singer, got a little weird for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He made some comments about fantasizing about people of color, and I was like,
Yeah.
It's the year 2025. Unfortunately, everyone is like, you can't look too much into anything you enjoy anymore. That's the only. And I know that's not an excuse. Like, and there's part of me that's like, you really should check a little bit more into this crap. But I'm like, I know I'm not going to like the answers I find.
Right.
At least they're like, people in the 70s were horrible people too. It's like, yeah, but they were all on cocaine and heroin and methamphetamine. That's fine. They didn't know. These people here, stone cold sober. When you drink it,
they're already insane. So I guess as an interesting kind of counterpoint to that, though, problematic people that produce, good art. What do you think about something like Lolita, where it is the subject matter is in itself very controversial?
I have so many thoughts about Lolita.
All right, Sarah.
And Sarah has the floor.
Okay. I feel weird saying that I enjoyed that book because of the content of that book.
Right.
I think that it is important content.
Mhm.
And I think that it is things that happen in real life that people need to know about. However, people romanticize the hell out of Lolita to the point where they don't even know where they're pulling these quotes from, and they use it for their like wedding posts and things like that.
Oh no!
And it's like, girl, that is from like, no. Do you know what that's about? I really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed everything about Lolita. And I honestly think that we need more books, and I'm gonna tread lightly because I know the content. Um, but I think that we need more books that talk about grooming and molestation and things like that, written in the way that Lolita was written. Because it's important, but it also it can't fall into the wrong people's hands. And I think a lot of the
cautionary tale can become an instruction manual, quick, fast, and in a hurry for some.
Yeah, it's no, and you're right in that it's you do need to read about these minds in the parlance that they themselves use, because that is important. It helps to humanize what's actually happening, because you're kind of forced to confront it. I think plus, I can't think of a safer outlet in which to explore these things than literature. You need to be able to talk about these thoughts. You need to be able to talk about the reality of life, but you can't. Yeah, you can't be afraid that some people are going to be abhorred by the subject matter, because it's just then we would just have really boring stories too.
Right.
I mean, murder is also wrong. It's not, but we don't shy away from showing that in literature. That's the focal point to so many novels. It's um, no, yeah, I definitely agree. I would be. I mean, I would be kind of disappointed to be in a writing group with people that would say like, "Oh no, we can't read that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
As soon
some
as someone
gorgeous
tells
writing,
me,
though. Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, as soon as someone tells you you're not allowed to read a book, go out as fast as you can, get that book, read it,
Yes.
because there's something in it they're trying to keep from you. They
Yes.
don't want you to see something. They don't
I
want you to know something.
I hate that there's so many. I don't disagree that there should be some banned books because some books are just they should not be written. Like,
Mein
have you
Kampf.
guys heard about that book Daddy's Little Toy? Have you heard about that?
Oh,
Sounds like
it wasn't on Goodreads, so
I was gonna say sounds like something that would either be on fanfiction.net or maybe
yeah.
It,
Wattpad. I don't know.
no, it was a real book, and I didn't read it. I would never read something titled that.
Yeah.
Um, but it like
Pans over
popped
to
up
the left,
on
and you see the book right on the shelf.
but it popped up on TikTok, and the author was like arrested for writing it because the main character was in love with a 3-year-old.
Oh
Oh
A
my!
my God,
3-year-old.
Wait, was it
And
Jacob Black?
it wasn't even a year. Okay, there
yeah,
was
but
another wolf who was in love with a 2-year-old. He imprinted on a 2-year-old.
Oh God!
Yeah, so it happened not once but twice. Thanks, Stephanie Myers, for all the nightmares.
Oh, so that's I don't know. Yeah, well, it's weird because you also have to somewhat be an arbiter of what constitutes art and what doesn't in these scenarios because I mean that that feels exclusionary to say, but at the same time, if you're reading somebody's thinly veiled fantasies versus
Yeah,
somebody that's actually trying to make a work of literature that makes people think, I think there is a bit of distinction to draw there.
yeah.
yeah,
Look, it's all art, but not all art is good.
Fair.
Some of
Yeah,
it,
that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
Not
mean,
all art, yeah, is good or yeah.
no, not all art should be made. Maybe that was a piece of art that should have been locked away in the old noggin, just
yeah,
left there to rot. Like we
Yeah.
did now in prison, hopefully.
That's what makes us top of the food chain as rational animals. We can say, nah, put that one away. Put that thought back.
This this does not spark joy.
This is
yeah.
not-
Oh, gross.
God.
Like, today's episode
Yeah.
brought to you by the letter "What the fuck."
All right.
Oh,
That's. I'm trying to think if there's anything more. Well, no. See, Catcher in the Rye was such a letdown because they built that one up to be super controversial, and then you're like, oh no, it's just some depressed kid.
doesn't he play baseball? Is that what the catcher part is? I don't know. I never read it.
No, no, it's the
No.
Catcher.
I never read Lolita either, but I only know what it is because of the movie Moonwalkers.
Fair. At least.
It's so good.
I should pay to file film.
Catcher in the Rye. The Catcher in the Rye is like a allusion to. I don't know if it's like a childhood nursery rhyme or like a story the kid read but it's about someone standing in a field in the field of rye that prevents other kids from like running away off this cliff, and he's called the cat. I don't know.
Oh,
It's a metaphor in the book, but the book itself is not my favorite.
Yeah, I found it kind of boring. That could be because I was forced to read it,
I
but
I totally understand why every frat boy cites it as his favorite novel, but like that's not a glowing review.
I thought it was because it was a baseball book, and they're like, he plays baseball. I don't know. I've never.
No, I honestly think it's because the main character talks like he talks like a 16-year-old boy, And I think that's why a lot of guys like it, to be honest. It's not
Book good. Okay,
it's not overly complicated. It's
you want to read something else? No, just book good.
just book. Uh,
All I can think about is that meme with Arthur, the way he just catches all that rye.
my favorite book.
No, the only book I ever, the, the only book I was ever forced to read that I actually enjoyed. Well, no, there were a couple of them I enjoyed, but the first one I remember enjoying was Where the Red Fern Grows, because it was
Okay.
about hunting dogs, and I come from a family we raised hunting dogs, and then old Dan bit it, and then little Ann bit it, and I was just sitting there in class bawling, and I look up. My friend Kelly is on the same page, and she's like, and I'm like, and we're like 13 in class. I got my leg in a cast because I broke it, so I'm just sitting there, leg in the air on a chair, holding the book, and all the kids who were faking reading it is like, "What page they on? What?"
That was a really good book.
It is good, yes. And then as a treat, they let us watch the movie, and you know how at
It's
the
a
beginning of the book,
treat. It's a
yeah,
treat. Let's traumatize them further.
you thought reading it was bad. Let's put some visuals to that, shall we?
You'll
But
never
like,
get this out of your brain.
no. It's like, this is worse than Old Yeller because the dog dies twice. Fair warning, anyone who's not seen it. Old Yeller bites it too. He bites the bullet. Anyway,
At
back to
this
that
point,
marriage.
I mean, spoiler alert. It's been this media has been released for how many decades?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Hey, the Lincoln assassination was too soon. So is old Dan and little Nan. Anyway, no, but like they let us watch the movie, and the movie we were so pissed off at the very beginning because in the book he has to chop down an oak tree, and the book is like it was 100 feet high and 50 feet wide, and in the movie he's sitting there at a chicken tree like, oh, oh. And me and Kelly were so irrationally angry. She had to stop it. She's like, okay, y'all have a good weekend. We'll
What is this revisionist bullshit?
see. Like, I could break a chicken tree with my knee and it's still in a cast. Come on, y'all.
All right. Are there any things that you've read voluntarily that you either didn't finish or you hate finished?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so
I
I'm
have
an
a
Umbrella
lot.
Academy.
Sarah's like, "Oh, my time to shine."
I am an Umbrella Academy fan,
Okay.
and like when season 4 came out back in August, I devoured it in a day. I was like, I'm gonna pace myself, watch an episode. No, I started it as soon as I got home from work and finished it as soon as I went to bed. Like that was there was
Wow.
no time. And something popped up on Amazon. It was a fan written book, and the story itself, like the actual plot, I appreciated it. I liked
Mhm.
it for what it was. The characters were somewhat true to the TV show characters, but it takes place when all the characters were 17. So, but they still referred to Victor as Victor rather than Vanya, even though Victor doesn't come out as trans till season 3 and not in the comics, only in the show because of Elliot Page's transition. But that I could overlook because you don't want to dead name even fictional people like I just did. I apologize. And I'm canceled. Anyway, um, but the typos in the book, I, the queen of misspellings, caught the typos in the book. There's a line where they're all on the roof and there's a kid there and his power is that he can give others powers. And there's a girl up there with him named Bianca, and Bianca's talking to Victor, and the literal line in the book was like, Bianca said, blah 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 blah. Bianca said,
I hate
she
that.
got to say it twice apparently. Uh, and then like there's so many typos. They used the wrong there in several places. They had three
Ugh.
options. They picked the wrong one every time. That they use
That's
the
honestly
wrong
kind of
image,
impressive.
right? That it actually, and it's a hardcover, like physical. It's not like, oh, I self-published
Oh
this on the internet first, and then they just put it on a web. No, like this is a legit physical in your hand book. And at the
Oh my
very
gosh.
beginning, it says that they worked with Elliot Page to discuss how to appropriately portray Victor in the book. And I so want to send Elliot Page a DM, be like, hey, you might want to sue, get your name taken off of that.
no.
You don't want no association with this baby. You just
just giving
run.
you some advice.
Yeah, run. But yeah, I hate finished it. And like every 5 minutes, I was going, "What the hell?" And Tammy's like, "Found another one." I was like, "Yep." Tammy's my mom. She's like, "Found another one." Yeah, I did. She's like, "Mark it." I was okay. So I edited a published book.
That's
I was,
crazy.
Put that
I
one
was
on the
fueled.
resume.
Oh yeah, I was fueled with spite and ran on hate, and it was. Ugh. So
Yeah.
I got the squishy boy out. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
my most
My
recent.
my dad one time he was in New Orleans and there's this guy that was like selling his self-published books on the side of the street and my dad's like, "Oh, I mean, my daughter's a writer. She would love this." So he got it for me for like Christmas or something and I started reading it. I'm not even kidding, 3 pages in and I was like, "This is the worst grammar I've ever seen in a published book." I could not read past 3 pages, and I gave it back to my dad. And I was like, "I'm really sorry that you spent your money on this, but it's bad, and I'm not reading it."
Did it happen to be about 7 siblings with magical powers? Like,
No, it was
because I
about a
think I read.
guy who like struggled on the street and sold drugs. But I only made it 3 pages
Oh,
in, so it could have been deeper.
Could have turned into anything, honestly.
They could have had powers.
The world was his oyster at this point.
Lolita too, the Electric Boogaloo. Like,
Yeah, you missed out. You missed out, Sarah.
I
yeah.
couldn't. Mm-mm.
Oh no, that's
What
terrible.
about you?
So there's a couple. The first, it was. I'm not going to even say it was super poorly written on a grammar and style level. It was just no offense to anyone that enjoys Christian fiction, but to me, Christian fiction is typically on the same level as Christian rock, which is to say, just you kind of got the same flavor no matter what. Like I can identify a Christian rock song within 0.05 seconds of hearing it. It's just they all are the same. So this
Out there
one
stacking a sword for the Lord.
this one book that I was reading, I read the cover. It seemed fantasy, it's generic esque, but I was like, okay, I could use a good fantasy story. Opening was pretty strong, and then a third of the way through, I just get this sneaking suspicion, and then halfway through, I'm just like, am I reading a sneaky Christian allegory? I'm pretty sure I'm reading a sneaky Chris, and it was bad on top of that. Like it was just the most generic fantasy coupled with like biblical names, and I couldn't. I got to the end of it, and I was just like, okay, I don't return books, but I think I'm going to return or not return, but I think I'm going to donate this one. I don't even remember what the name of it was.
Like everything was going great till that guy Jehoshaphat hopped over.
Okay, my one exception is okay. Chronicles of Narnia, solid. He gets a little weird in the last battle because he's got a bit of a racist caricature, but we don't talk about that. But most Christian, there we go. Most Christian fiction just is not that quality. And then there's another series that was a. She's a pretty relatively well known author, Veronica Roth, I think.
That
Um,
sounds familiar.
so
She's
she
a good
wrote a series called like A Darker Shade of Magic, and the concept was really, really good. It was about like four different versions of London existing in four different parallel universes, some with magic, some without, and just how they overlay each other. Really interesting concept. The book was so boring, and there were three of them, but then somehow in the last 20 pages of each one, she made it interesting again. So I kept thinking, if I go to the next one, it'll be good all the way through, and it never was. And I read 900
That
pages of it.
sucks.
Oh no. Oh
That
no.
sucks.
So yeah, those are. So now I have a new philosophy, which is if I don't enjoy it, I'm just probably gonna stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
I read a
torture
book.
yourself?
Huh?
Why torture yourself?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I read a book called All the Ugly and Wonderful Things. It's by who's it by?
But I
Bryn
looked up
Greenwood.
Veronica. I looked up Veronica Roth. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but she wrote the Divergent series too.
No, so no, it might not have been Veronica Roth. Let me see. I'll look it up and figure it out before the end.
Okay. I'm
Well,
sorry, Sarah.
this book, it's by Bryn Greenwood. It's called All the Ugly and Wonderful Things, and I normally would never not finish a book that is good writing. Like this is the writing was incredible,
Yeah.
and it was very interesting throughout. I had listened to the audiobook because I have an hour and a half commute, and that's
Godspeed.
that's what my life is now. The person that read it was amazing. Everything about it was great. Halfway through the book, it started to turn into a little bit of like Lolita. Um,
Oh,
and again, I am fine with reading things like that, but the way that this author ended the book, it like the main character was like, yes, I am fucking this guy who's way older than me and I love it and there's nothing wrong with it. And the guy is like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. And I was just like, there is so much wrong with this. Like, she's like a 13-year-old girl who's in front of court, like telling these people everything that this man did to her. And I'm just like, I cannot do this. I can't.
Confused about
And
the themes.
yeah, I didn't finish it. Everything else was great. Like it was about a girl
Gorgeous,
who
beautiful.
and all of a sudden, so it's about this girl who her mom's like a deadbeat and she comes from an abusive family. She's in foster homes. No one wants her. She has a little brother, same thing. And then she finally meets this guy who takes care of her. Great. I thought it was going to be just a very happy story where she finds a family. No, he rapes her. And then
Oh,
she's like, this is great. I love him. I can't wait for him to get out of jail so that way I can sleep with him again.
oh,
It's just
great.
not.
It's a hell
I
of a
oh,
couldn't.
drug.
I couldn't.
oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. So that's one I didn't finish. Sorry if I spoiled
I
it for anyone.
Yeah,
no
I don't
no
think that I wasn't really sold on that one to begin with.
no.
So it turns out
Well,
the author was V.E. Schwab was the
Mm.
name.
okay, close.
Yeah, sorry, Veronica Roth. I mean, I didn't really enjoy the Divergent series all that much, but it's okay.
I haven't read it.
That was no, I haven't read that one either. But I did start reading Mortal Instruments.
Oh
I
yeah.
listened to the audiobook while I crocheted, and I watched the movie because I'm a Robert Sheehan fan. But I watched the movie, and thank God they aged up the characters a little bit in the movie because they're only 15 in the first book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nothing crazy in the first book that they do that's weird. It's just there's a part where the main character Tom pees his pants. I'm like, thank you guys for leaving that out of the film. That was so awesome.
Real G
That
move.
was yeah, like that's one of those things, kill those darlings, clip, 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 goodbye. Mm.
It is hilarious how when you look back at the YA that you read, how you're like, as an adult, you're like, oh wait, kids don't act like this. Like, these 13-year-olds are saying, like, the adults in the room had the right idea. No, you kids aren't gonna help save the world.
For me, it's watching the old Disney movies with like Ariel, and she's like, "Daddy, I'm 16. I'm all grown up." When you're a little girl, you're like, "Yeah, 16's all grown up." And then at 34, I'm sitting there like, "Baby, you want to pay bills? Go ahead, get them legs. See what's going to happen. You want a mortgage? Because there's a mortgage waiting on you. You better listen to your daddy. He's just trying to do his best for you, but no, you want a man." All right, and on that note, we have hit the 1 hour mark. I actually really liked Patrick's question about hate books, like finishing books out of spite. So please answer that in the comments or on the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, we have several channels on there. We have the weekly writing prompt channel, important links, which will take you to the YouTube, and today I'm probably going to post the Facebook as well. There's the question, comments, concerns. I can post that question in there. And there's another one that's called Workshop Notes, and there's a workshop talk. If you would like your work read, workshopped, if you'd like to talk to somebody about it, please feel free to let us know. Just send us an email. Hold on. I am working on getting us an email so that you can actually send your things and we can read them and talk to you. That is, let me see, it's almost done. Oh, come on, man. My life takes forever. But the weekly prompt this week, Sarah, if you want to read the prompt, it's in the chat.
Sure. So this week's writing prompt is: it's open mic night at your local comedy club. Your friends have just dared you to take the stage. Write your opening line and 3 original jokes. And we'll have the drums for next week too.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Right?
Drums will return.
Can't have the drums without the good old. Hey.
Right.
I just flew in from Facebook, and boy, are my arms tired. Hey. That's not up. All right. Well, that's pretty much all we have for this week. The official Gmail account confirmed. Please stop this. Why are you like this?
Are you making it right now?
Yeah, I am. Why? I can't edit any of this out, so I'll post it in the in the link for here. All right, that concludes episode 2. I feel good about what we did here today, guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
Nice job.
Hopefully we don't sound like, I mean, Patrick's going to sound fine, but hopefully you and I don't sound like we're, 6 feet under.
Sound like he's sitting on someone's shoulder, but like, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about books we fucking hate.
Should lean into the ASMR angle a little bit more.
Put on some fake nails, and then
I'm gonna eat my dinner.
Then he was a pedophile. All right, you guys. See you next week. It was a wonderful joy talking to you. Goodbye, listeners.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
One more for the road. Hey.